Iran Armed Forces with 11 million soldiers. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Sepah. The Islamic Republic of Iran Army, Artesh. And the Law Enforcement Force, Faraja, make up the Iranian Armed Forces, officially known as the Islamic Republic of Iran Armed Forces. In terms of active soldiers, the Iranian Armed Forces are the biggest in the Middle East. The overall number of military troops in Iran is roughly 787,000, comprising approximately 200,000 reserve and trained individuals who are ready to be called into action as needed, and approximately 587,000 active duty people. These figures do not include Basiege or Law Enforcement Command. With a small amount of imports from Russia in the 1990s during the Iran-Iraq War, American systems predate the Islamic Revolution of 1979 and make up the majority of Iran's foreign armaments. But since then, the nation has started a significant internal rearmament campaign, as noted in, and its stock has gotten more and more native. Iranian officials claim that the majority of their nation's military gear is produced domestically, and by the 2000s, they were already exporting weapons. Iran has invested significant funds in an ambitious ballistic and cruise missile program for long-range strike capability and has manufactured various types of arms and munitions, including tanks, armored vehicles, and drones, as well as various naval assets and aerial defense systems. Iran is suffering from an aging Air Force fleet and is unable to import weapon systems from abroad. Iran has continuously refused to engage in negotiations over its ballistic missile and space programs, which are contentious political issues on the international scene. According to Iranian authorities, the country's missile program is only intended for use in surgical strikes and is not important to any nuclear negotiations with the P5+1 because it is not intended to deliver nuclear payloads. Concerns over the Iranian drone program have also been expressed throughout the Middle East and much of the West, particularly in light of the expansion of Iranian allied troops and their exports to nations that are hostile to the United States. Iranian drone threats have left the United States operating without complete air superiority for the first time since the Korean War, according to U.S. Central Command Commander Gen. Kenneth McKenzie. The General Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces is responsible for overseeing all military branches. The Ministry of Defense and Armed Forces Logistics is not involved in military operational command in the field. Rather, it is in charge of organizing the armed forces' finances and logistics. The Supreme Leader is the head of state and commander of the armed forces. The Islamic Republic of Iran Army Ground Forces, the Islamic Republic of Iran Army Navy, the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force, and the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Defense Force make up the Iranian regular military, also known as the Islamic Republic of Iran Army. An estimated 398,000 people make up the regular armed forces. 350,000 are in the Islamic Republic of Iran Army Ground Forces, of which 220,000 are conscripts. 18,000 are in the Islamic Republic of Iran Navy, and 37,000 are in the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Force. With 15,000 soldiers, the Islamic Republic of Iran Air Defense Force is a branch of the IRIF. An estimated 190,000 people make up the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, also known as the Revolutionary Guards, which is divided into 5 branches: the Quds Force, Special Forces, its own Navy, the Aerospace Force, and Ground Forces. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards are in charge of the volunteer paramilitary group known as the Basiege. There is debate concerning its membership. According to Iranian authorities, there are 12.6 million members worldwide, including women, of whom 600,000 may be combatants. It is stated that there are 2,500 battalions, some of which are made up of full-time employees. The manufacturing of foreign weaponry was the only military industry in Iran during the reign of the last Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Iranian labor assembled a range of helicopters, aircraft, guided missiles, electronic components, and tanks on assembly lines set up by American companies like Bell, Litton, and Northrop. Iran Electronics Industries, IEI, was founded in 1973 in an initial effort to coordinate the construction and maintenance of armaments supplied from overseas. The firm was founded. Reverse engineering Soviet RPG-7, BM-21, and SATAM-7 missiles was the first successful step into what could be called a military industry, accomplished in 1979 by the Iranian Defense Industries Organization. However, Before the Islamic Revolution, the majority of Iran's armaments were purchased from Europe and the United States. The Shah went on an arms race, ordering $8 billion worth of weapons from the US alone between 1971 and 1975. Congress in the United States became concerned about this, and in 1976 reinforced the 1968 Arms Export Control Act. Still, up to the Islamic Revolution of 1979, the US sold Iran a significant quantity of armaments. Isfahan's Armed Forces Day exhibition. Following the Islamic Revolution, Iran was left largely alone and without access to modern technology. Iran was compelled to rely on its own armaments sector for weapons and spare components due to economic sanctions and a weapons embargo imposed by the United States, as few foreign businesses were prepared to do business with Iran. The task of establishing what is now known as the Iranian military industry fell to the Islamic Revolutionary Guards. Iran's military sector flourished under their leadership, and the country soon gathered a large arsenal of missiles as the Ministry of Defense poured money into the missile industry. Along with tanks, fighter jets, radar equipment, guided missiles, marines, and military vessels, it has been producing its tanks, APCs, and guided missiles since 1992. Additionally, Iran is building its submarines. The development of weaponry, including the Fajr 3, MIRV, Hoot, Kawsar, Fakil 110, Shahab 3 missile systems, and a range of unmanned aerial vehicles, at least one of which Israel says has been used to spy on its territory, has been highlighted in public statements made in recent years. Iran's Brigadier General Hassan Sifi announced on November 2, 2012, that the country has made great strides in this field thanks to the skills of its experts, and that the Iranian army is now self-sufficient in producing military hardware. He was reported to have stated, "Unlike Western countries, which hide their new weapons and munitions from all, the Islamic Republic of Iran's army is not afraid of displaying its latest military achievements, and all countries must become aware of Iran's progress in producing weaponry." UAV initiative. Iran has built several unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, that are useful in both warfare and reconnaissance missions. Additionally, Iran claims to have shot down, seized, and then reverse-engineered Israeli and U.S. drones. Iranian drones have been heavily engaged in battle by the Houthi movement in the Yemeni civil war, primarily against Saudi targets, and by the Syrian civil war. Russia started its invasion of Ukraine in 2022, and the United States announced that Iran was supplying Russia with combat drones at some point after that. Later, Iran verified the claims but refuted the claim that the drones were intended for use in the conflict in Ukraine. It also mentioned that China was among the nations interested in importing Iranian drones. Programmed for ballistic missiles. Iran launched unarmed missiles on November 2, 2006, marking the start of 10 days of military drills. According to Iranian state media, several missiles, including Shahab 2 and Shahab 3 missiles, were fired. The missiles may go up to 2,000 kilometers at a time. Iranian specialists have modified Shahab 3 missiles to include cluster warheads that can carry 1,400 bombs in them, following certain US-led military drills in the Persian Gulf on October 30, 2006, aimed at preparing for the transportation of WMDs. There were these launches. Iran is also thought to have begun work on the Ghadar 110 ECBM/ERBM missile project, which has a 3,000 km range. This project is thought to be a parallel development to the IRIS satellite launcher program. Iran also set aside facilities and silos for its ballistic missiles underground. Newer generation ballistic missiles, like the Fateh and Sejal families, which emphasize accuracy and maneuverability over a longer range, are gradually replacing older generation platforms, like the Shahab family. By 2020, Iran's missile forces, by far the biggest and most varied in the Middle East, had already overmatched their regional rivals, according to the U.S. military leadership in the region. Weaponry capable of causing mass destruction. Following the 1980 to 1988 Iran-Iraq War, a truce was reached, and Iran began a massive push to develop and accumulate chemical weapons. In 1997, Iran did, however, ratify the Chemical Weapons Convention. Tens of thousands of Iranian soldiers and civilians died as a result of Iraqi chemical weapons during the 1980 to 1988 Iran-Iraq War. About 30,000 Iranians are still suffering and losing their lives as a result of Iraq's use of chemical weapons in the conflict, more than 24 years after the conflict came to an end. Due to the necessity of overseeing the care of this many victims, Iranian medical professionals are at the forefront of creating efficient treatment plans for victims of chemical weapons, especially those who have been exposed to mustard gas. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe for more videos. In the comments section of the post, please tell me how many you discovered.